would be dealt into details right here. Let's go straight to what President John Dramani Mahama said yesterday. Now, he raised a number of issues and said that they also promised to initiate steps towards creating 5 more administrative regions to bring to 15 the number of regions in Ghana. Giving highlights of the National Democratic Congress's 2016 Manifesto in Accra on Tuesday, the president said that the next NDC government will set up a commission of inquiry to explore the viability or otherwise of increasing the number of regions. And we want to speak to Dr. Eric Odrosai. He is the Dean of Graduate Studies and a researcher at the Institute of Local Government Studies to look into the feasibility of this promise. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Good afternoon.
Yes, to start with, the president says that a second term in office would give him that capacity to put together a commission of inquiry that will look at the viability of increasing Ghana's regions from 10 to 15. If you are consulted, would you advise government that this is something they can take up, is something they should consider?
Very well. It's something that should engage the attention of any government that comes to power. Because we have bigger regions in this country that is becoming increasingly difficult.
Dr. Osai, kindly speak up for me. I cannot hear you.
Oh, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm saying that definitely this is something that should engage the attention of every government that comes to power, because it is something that we need to do to enable us to develop the country. Off the top of my head, I see Northern region being a bigger region. I also see the Apple region being a bigger region that should be separated. I also see the Eastern region. I also see the Volta region, and I also see the Western region. Invariably, what is happening then is that because it is very cumbersome to be able to create such regions, because it requires constitutional referendum to be organized and all of that. If we are doing it and we do it holistically, it's good. So I think it is perfect, but it is one thing mentioning it and the other thing implementing it. I really would wait patiently to see how it is reflected in the NDC Manifesto once it is launched on Saturday.
The opposition NPP's flag bearer, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also raised a similar position that the Western region, looking at its size, for instance, he thinks that should be divided because it takes longer to travel from just one area to the other in one region. And then there are those who are questioning if it is an issue of the length of the place. Why don't you then increase infrastructure, for instance, better road networks, and then using railways so that movement in the region would be enhanced rather than dividing it or splitting the region?
It's not so about the distance. I think there are other factors. There are other incidental beneficial factors that come with the creation of districts. Yes, the distance can be one factor, but the other factor is the availability of job opportunities, the development of the large land size that are available, and the spread of development projects. If you create more regions, what is then going to happen is that the various institutions with regional offices would be tempted to go there, establish new offices there. Jobs will be created. People will have work to do. The economy will be booming. So I think there's more to it than the distance. But when you look at it, whichever way we look at it, it's very important. But let me add this, that as a nation, we should get to a point where we put a cap on the maximum number of regions we need to develop. Because we cannot continue creating it. In most advanced countries, like the United States of America and Canada, they are no more creating states. They are concentrating on the states they have for development. Right. So we should get to a point where we put a cap on it so that we will no more create it again. But now we need to create more so that the bigger regions can be divided for the purpose of effective administration and the spread of resources.
Right. And so my final question to you would be, there are those who are asking that if you can help us understand how the creation of the commission or the putting together of the commission of inquiry is done, and once they are put together, what are the steps they are going to take?
Now, for the commission of inquiry, it is the president who will want to put them together to advise him on the creation of the regions. But when you look at the constitution, it requires a petition or a request from opinion leaders and then people from the region to His Excellency the President. He can then refer it to a commission of experts to advise him. When they so advise him that it is feasible for it to be created, the process will be initiated. and then a referendum will be conducted. When the referendum is conducted, a certain percentage of the people living in that region will have to vote yes in favor of the creation. Once the vote goes through and it is yes, it will be created and Parliament would approve of it. So that is the process. But then it is a referendum because it is in the Constitution, it is entrenched. It is and it is expensive to conduct a referendum.
Right.
So we cannot pick and choose. If we can, then we have to do it at a go. That is why if we pick all 5 and we do it at a go, it is better than doing it one at a time.
We are grateful for your time, Dr. Eric Odrosai, and thank you very much. He is the Dean of Graduate Studies and Research at the Institute of Local Government Studies, and talking about the creation of 5 more regions promised by President Mahama in his next administration.